Hello again, Chinese truck fans. Which, if you're watching my channel, maybe not many of you, because I speak English. But anyways, we have Xcartoys. I've grown to like this brand quite a bit now. This is the Tank 300 City Edition. It says T2-07. I'm gonna guess maybe this is the Wave T2, and this is the model of that Wave. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I'm always wrong. So it's a nice little diagrams here. It seems to be licensed from the manufacturer. The manufacturer, by the way, is GWM, which is Great Wall Motors. I don't know. I have a suspicion that. No, I'm not gonna guess. I was gonna say they might be the largest car company in China. I see a lot of GWM electric vehicles where I live. I think GWM is #1 in electric vehicles. And that is the future, it seems. So, let's see what we got. I like this packaging that Xcartoys does. You know, it's like Mini GT. Protects the model, but it's not so bulky that you want to throw it out. You know, you can actually collect. You know, it doesn't take up too much storage space. Let's take a look at these photos. Focus on those two. Okay. So Wikipedia is telling me that this is a mid-sized SUV, and it started being produced in 2020. It's powered by a 2-liter inline-4 turbo gasoline, and it's making what 230-ish horsepower, which doesn't sound too bad. But there's also an electric motor version, which has a 3-in-1 motor drive system, 300 HEV. Well, maybe this is only a hybrid. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Sorry. But Wikipedia tells me this actually has 3 Eaton differential lockers in a low range gearbox. If you've ever gone off-roading, or if you've actually, like me, driven off the side of the road in a snowstorm and had a pickup truck that was basically a Ford Ranger and it didn't have locking differentials, you will find yourself stuck in a ditch in wintertime for several hours until a GMC Suburban comes and pulls you out. And the reason why is because 3 of my tires were sitting on the ground, but the 4th one was up in the air, and that's where all the power went. It just spun that one tire in the air. So without a differential locker, meaning it locks the axles, so as long it doesn't matter which tire is on the ground, all 4 of the tires are going to move. Without the differential locker, though, wasted power. Sorry for that side story. Brings back bad memories. Being in this wintertime stranded. So this screen is not metallic. It seems, you know, my camera is, you know, pretty cheap. It doesn't have the best color, but it's definitely not what I'm seeing in my own eyes. My own eyes, it seems to be like a darker green, a darker shade. This looks almost gray on my phone screen, but it's definitely a green gray. Okay, but not quite olive, not military olive. Alright, so, and then compounded by your screen, this might end up looking blue. Okay, so sadly I've seen these tires before, and they're just a little too gnarly for me. Even though it's not so bad on a truck, but if you look at those photographs they compared to, they're running street tires. Street tires don't have knobby tires, blocks like this. And then also, this is totally flat. It's not bulging out like a balloon, like there's air inside, so I don't really care for the tires. They could be better. They're not the worst, but they could be better. These wheels do seem to match those photographs quite well. The silver paint is applied nicely, or it's the way they molded it. This is depressed, so this paint can't get to it. And then let's go on the front one here. There's no brakes, but it does have 6 lug nut details, so it looks pretty good. The tires do have treads that also look pretty good. Alright, so the door handles here, they're sticking out a little recesses for the fingers and stuff. Fuel filler looks good. You know, a little bit of the edge is showing because this is a lighter color. You need a lot of paint as you can see, it's filling in the panel gaps a lot. This is every manufacturer's problem, not just Xcartoys. If you like light colors that are not metallic, you're going to have to just get used to seeing really thick paint in those gaps. Otherwise, you'll see a lot of dark edges from the casting. You can see a little bit of it there. Separate mirrors, and they actually do have a reflective sticker in them, so that's good. The front end, we have this tank T logo. It's actually, the tank is printed very clear in Chinese text there. 300 looks very clear. Clear headlights look good, and the silver going across. Silver here on the grill, and the grill has some depth to it back there. Some silver in these little fog lights look good. Some bumperettes here. So all looks pretty clean. Sadly, there's, I think, a little chip of paint missing right there, but it's not so bad. Going to the top, we have, I think, a separate plastic piece that sounds like plastic. And then this brand, they're starting to put on these separate wiper blades, so it's really impressive. It's not molded into the windscreen, it's literally molded into this piece of plastic, it looks like. So it works, and they're actually like the aerodynamic type, not just straight, straight blades like from the 1950s. So the blackout of the windscreen seems to be printed okay. Those little sensors by the rear view mirror. Are these rubbery? It does flex, but I wouldn't call that rubbery. Not like Mini GT, because if it was Mini GT, even the stock would flex, but it definitely isn't rigid like Kyosho, so it's somewhere in between, which is better than Kyosho. Alright, sunroof there looks alright. We've got some ribbing up here, some sort of antenna, and then these roof rails seem to be separate plastic pieces, painted well enough. Yeah, no problems there. Going to the back here, we have the same rubbery tire. It's not plastic. And then this is okay. The hand grab is okay. The printing there is very clear. The taillights are nice. They're translucent, but they have some gold stripes printed on them and a little silver for the backup. The hinges are painted black. We have tank printed there very clearly. We have some red for these reflectors, but there's nothing printed on the license plate, like on the front. It's kind of weird they skipped that, really. And then the third brake light is painted red up there. There's a graphic, it looks like, of the wiper blade here. Yeah. It's a separate print than the rest of the blackout of the window, so that's interesting. Yeah. This side, no fuel filler, but no major defects that I can see. What's going on with this, though? Every time I say that, there's some sort of defect. Tiny contaminant, maybe a scratch contaminant. So black paint here on the window molding. This is actually recessed. Yeah, interesting. I was just looking if it was an optical illusion or there really is black paint in it. I think there actually really is black paint in that groove. Okay. Excuse me. Going to the bottom. The Xcartoys does a good job saying they made this of this vehicle, and they made it around 2022, and this is 1/64 scale. So everything you want to know, you can buy this used without any packaging at all. Look at the bottom and realize what you're holding in your hand. Why other brands fail to do that is a mystery. And there's still all this detail. So I'm looking at you, Mini GT. You guys make great models, but you very often don't tell anyone what they're holding in their hands. These things have suspension, so bouncy bounce. And then I'm going to open this up because my other SUV I got from Xcartoys actually had a lot of paint details, so I'm hoping this one does as well. And because they're smart and use screws instead of riveting, I'm looking at you, Auto World, and TLV. Why TLV rivet stuff when their models are so expensive is beyond me. It's probably because they live in 1990 and not 2022. There might be some sticky paint here, because it doesn't want to come loose. I do think this rear bumper is a separate piece of plastic now that I'm looking at it. Oh, wait a second. I think the fenders are a separate piece, and it's part of the base. Yeah, so you can see some light getting into that above the fender. Something's holding it up though. I wonder if it's being trapped by that bumper. The rear bumper, that is. The front bumper... Darn, I don't think I can tear this apart. What I think is, this front bumper is also a separate piece of plastic, but as you can see, this green fender, being part of the base, is being trapped by this bumper. And yeah, same in the back. These bumpers are not part of the base. So unless you remove the bumpers, you can't open this up easily. So I'm just going to have to go the old-fashioned way and whip out the flashlight here. Get in there. Molded details. Not seeing any painted details like that other SUV, the BJ80 I reviewed. Hold on, wrong angle. I think the BJ80 also had a rear view mirror. This one does not. No, it does not. Door panels. Decent enough details. So it seems like this is just a standard black interior, you know, on par with its pricing, I would say. On par with Power 64 and Kyoshos and Mini GTs. Although Mini GTs are nowadays, some of them have colorful interiors, so... Okay, sorry for the zooming in and out. Let me get the spin coaster. Alright, so the front end, you know, looks like the Ford Bronco. Unfortunately, I don't have a modern Ford Bronco in 1/64, or any scale, really. I just have this classic one that was put out by M2 Machines. So this is a 66 Bronco that I think is like a resto mod or something like that. So it's okay. It's just that it doesn't have clear headlights and it makes it look weak. Oh well. I do have this Tarmac Works Global of a Land Rover Defender 110, and this is pretty nice. I do like that one. Nice metallic green on that one. They do have clear headlights and taillights in most instances, Tarmac Globals. This one does have painted taillights, but they are very small. Unless these are plastic and smoked. I don't know. I don't remember. Alright. Let's do one more. And that would be the other Xcartoys I have, which is the BAIC BJ80. And this one does have paint in the interior, like the dashboard and some wood trim and stuff like that. And this one, I think, has metal wiper blades. So it's quite nice. Let's take a top view there. All coincidentally green. So although it's not as detailed as that BJ80, I think Xcartoys did a good job on this. I mean, if you look at the photographs, it looks like that car, that SUV, right? Well, again, I only wish that they would reach out to some other brands and see if they can make models for them, because I think for the price, this is much better than a lot of other brands doing the more popular vehicles. Like, I think of Power 64. Power 64, they usually have really crummy wheels and tires, and they always have a black interior, and so that bothers me. I think this is in line with like Tarmac Works Global and Mini GT. So it's around the same price as well. Mini GT might be, well, with shipping, I think this costs more than a Mini GT for me, or somewhere in the same ballpark. Anywho, if you don't mind learning about vehicles that you'll probably never see with your own eyes, I think this is a good brand. I do know some other countries, though, like Australia, I think, sells this car. So if you live there, maybe you'd love this model. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I'm definitely going to get some more Xcartoys when they put out some cool colorways and other cool castings. So thank you for watching, and Ziajian. I'm not pronouncing that right. That's supposed to be Chinese for goodbye. Zaijin? Zaijin?